Well, hello there. Heather Arrington here with another quarantine poetry reading. I don't always recite poetry dressed like a flapper, but it is the roaring 20s. There's a pandemic, if you haven't heard. The stock markets are tanking, and we're at the precipice of another Great Depression because the first one wasn't good enough. To top it all off, the bars are closed. It seems there's not much else to do but drink whiskey, make babies, and recite poetry. So we're going to recite some poetry. Here we are. I put a call out to Facebook and said, hey, you guys got any recommendations? And my friend Beverly, with a good taste, said Charles Bukowski and Dylan Thomas. Both very tall orders. Getting my computer started. But here we go. I do not need to be doing this many takes in one night. So the traffic needs to cooperate. And you need to just sit there and enjoy the quarantine like the rest of us. We're going to start with Charles Bukowski. This poem has been on my refrigerator for 6 months. I'm excited to read it. It's called So You Want to Be a Writer. If it doesn't come bursting out of you in spite of everything, don't do it. Unless it comes unasked out of your heart and your mind and your mouth and your gut, don't do it. If you have to sit for hours staring at your computer screen or hunched over your typewriter searching for words, don't do it. If you're doing it for money or fame, don't do it. If you're doing it because you want women in your bed, don't do it. If you have to sit there and rewrite it again and again, don't do it. If it's hard work just thinking about doing it, don't do it. If you're trying to write like somebody else, forget about it. If you have to wait for it to roar out of you, then wait patiently. If it never roars out of you, do something else. If you first have to read it to your wife or your girlfriend or your boyfriend or your parents or to anybody at all, you're not ready. Don't be like so many writers. Don't be like so many thousands of people who call themselves writers. Don't be dull and boring and pretentious. Don't be consumed with self-love. The libraries of the world have yawned themselves to sleep over your kind. Don't add to that. Don't do it. Unless it comes out of your soul like a rocket. Unless being still would drive you to madness or suicide or murder, don't do it. Unless the sun inside of you is burning your gut, don't do it. When it is truly time, and if you have been chosen, it will do it by itself, and it will keep on doing it until you die or it dies in you. There is no other way, and there never was. And that is Charles Bukowski. So You Want to Be a Writer. All right, excuse me. Sit up straight. And next and last one is Do Not Go Gentle Into That Good Night by Dylan Thomas. And here we go. Do not go gentle into that good night. Old age should burn and rage at close of day. Rage against the dying of the light. Though wise men at their end know dark is right, Because their words had forked no lightning, they do not go gentle into that good night. Good men, the last wave by, crying how bright their frail deeds might have danced in a green bay. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. Wild men who caught and sang the sun in flight, and learned too late they grieve it on its way. Do not go gentle into that good night. Grave men near death who see with blinding sight, blind eyes could blaze like meteors and be gay. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. And you, my Father, there on the sad height, curse. Bless me now with your fierce tears, I pray. Do not go gentle into that good night. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. Again, that was Do Not Go Gentle Into That Good Night by Dylan Thomas. And I hope you've enjoyed what you listened to today. It took me 100 takes because of traffic. It seems like people are finally staying home and it's only 10 o'clock at night. Not too bad. They're probably making babies and drinking whiskey. Sure as hell ain't reading poetry. I must be the only one doing that tonight. I hope you've enjoyed what you've heard. If you have, please share and subscribe. And I look forward to seeing you again in another poetry reading. They think this is going to go on until July. And I will be here again. Good night.